Hi, everybody. Um, welcome. And
Hello.
hi, it's 6 o'clock, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay. Um, Today, we're going to be studying the Zayin. And the Zayin is about the sword and the crown and scepter and sustenance. So there's a lot packed into that one little letter, and hopefully we'll be able to get to it all. Um, so let's get started. Okay. So let's start with prayer. Ah, here it goes. Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al divrei Torah. Blessed are you, Lord our God, everlasting King, who sets us apart by his establishments and established us on words of Torah. And make the words of your Torah, Lord our God, pleasant in our mouth. Kulanu yorei shmecha leyomde torat ha lishma. That we would all be knowers of your name and students of your Torah for its own sake. So we're studying the Zayin. So there we see the shape of the Zayin. The Zayin is the seventh letter of the Hebrew alphabet, and it's described as the letter Yud on top and the Vav going up and down. So there's the Zayin. Some describe it as a sword. Okay. The handle is on top and the standing leg is the blade. And some describe it as a crown and scepter. It's a picture of strength, leadership, and authority. So there's several different descriptions of how the different rabbis and teachers describe it. But, there's, like I said, there's several different ways to look at it. Whatever you're studying, try to think of at least one of those descriptions for the shape. The Zayin, the meaning of the word, the actual meaning of the word Zayin is sword. Admit is sword or a sharp weapon. Just 1 second, guys. The meaning of the word is sword or a sharp weapon. Zayin can also refer to a crown. The Zayin's root is the word zun, okay, and it means to sustain or feed others. And all of these three things sound different, yet they're kind of all the same. That's why I put that little circular thing going on there, because you have the word or the Torah, which is like a sword. Okay, the word is like a sword for us, and we fight for our lives and our way of life, which is Judaism. Okay, through the word, as we're studying it, we're fighting for how we want to live our lives. But it's also like, going out there in the old times, they still do it, I guess, that they go out and they have to fight for their food, okay, for the sustenance. And the word for food is mazon. Okay, so the word for food is mazon. The word for nourishment is hazana, which both of them have the zun or the root, okay, that has to do with sustain. And it's very important because it also has to do with being able to feed others. Okay, So we're taking in the Torah at the top of the this circle, okay, this path that I did. We're taking in the Torah, and we're fighting for our lives by taking it in so that we can sustain ourselves and feed ourselves with mazon, with hazana. But at the same time, as we go on, through our strength, through that sustenance, okay, that we get from the Torah, it goes both ways, that we get from the Torah, we're adorning the Torah. Just like when you open ark, okay, the Torah scrolls are in the ark and they have crowns on them, okay. The keter, it's called a keter, they have a crown on them, and we're adorning the Torah scroll, which represents the Shekinah at Shabbat. So, like I said, it just kind of, they're all interrelated. When we crowning the Torah, okay, we are fighting for our way of life, and in order to live, we need sustenance. Okay, so the Zayin, okay, is also seen in certain letters in the Hebrew alphabet, okay? And they're Zayanim, okay? Some people call them Tagin. They are known as Tagin or Ketarim. Ketar, like a crown, like we just saw on the previous page. Okay, they're crowns, and they're found in some letters in the Torah. We find them and I have them listed here. The Shin, the Ayin, the Tet, the Nun, the Zayin, like also has it, the Gimel, and the Sadi. Okay, so they're called Schatznet Getz. These are particular letters. That's what they're called. And you will see these letters crowned. Okay, sometimes, not always, but sometimes in the Torah, when you're reading the Torah. And I'm not really going to talk much about them. Okay, I just wanted to show them to you, because the variations of why they're there, some of them came down with is, we don't know, we have no idea why they're there. Some of them, they represent this. Some of them, they represent that. But then ultimately, the majority of them said, we really don't know why they're there. So I thought that was very interesting. So the gematria of the word Zayin is 67, which is the same value for the word Binah, which means understanding. The fact that the shape of the Zayin is like a sword, but also like a scepter and crown, shows us that a person that has a sword or a crown or a scepter must have understanding of how and when to use them. So that is a big deal, because we have to know how to yield the sword. We know that I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, just a second. We know that the word is like a sword, okay? And we need to be able to yield it properly, okay? And we need to be careful of how the word is used. And you don't want to destroy a person, because you can destroy a person by using the scriptures in the wrong way. So it's very important that you have understanding, and it's not supposed to be used as a implement of war. You have to be able to use it in a very smart way, so that you are teaching people, okay, and give understanding. And it is like a king that, that has a crown, or that has a scepter. Okay, they have to have understanding with the words that they're giving to others. And that, okay, so the Zayin's numerical value is a 7. So we know that 7 is very important in Judaism. Okay, the Sabbath is the 7th day. It's a day of rest, but it's also a picture of the kingdom. And pretty soon, right after Passover, we're going to be going into the 7 weeks of the counting of the Omer for Shavuot. Then we have another very important 7 is the month of Tishri, the month on the Jewish calendar. And that month is so important to us because all the high holy days are in Tishri. You have Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot, Shemini Atzeret. So you have all of these major holidays, holy days in the Jewish calendar in the 7th month. Then you also have Shemitah, the 7th year of rest for the land. Then you also have the Jubilee, okay, the 49th year, the 7 times 7 years that we also are given that freedom. So there's the Jubilee. Then we also know that the kingdom of Messiah will come in the year 7,000, when we're going to be actually present, in the kingdom. Okay, so here in Vaikra Rabbah 29:10, it says all 7s are blessed. And the number 7 has always been regarded in the Jewish tradition as the number of completion, wholeness, blessing, and rest. So we have to, think about the Zayin in this sense. It's the 7th letter. So just based on the fact that it is the 7th letter, it's so important. And it does, give us an understanding of, the 7th and blessing and rest. Now, the oversized Zayin in Malachi 3:22 in the Hebrew Bible, it says, Zikru Torat Moshe Avdi Asher, and I highlighted it. The English, I'm not going to say the whole sentence, but the English says, be mindful of the teaching of my servant Moses, whom I charged at Horeb with laws and rules for all Israel. So Zikru is the same as when we say Zikaron, or remembrance, Zikaru, remembrance, commemorate. Shabbat 89a:4 says, since you belittled yourself, he's speaking about Moses, since you belittled yourself, the Torah will be called by your name. That's why it says Zikru Torat Moshe. It's the Torah of Moshe. And it's like, he was so humble because it's like, he didn't, when he was asked questions, he would always lower himself. And God, in his mercy, was like, because you lower yourself, because you're such a humble man, and you don't make yourself higher, saying, oh, look, the Torah was given to me, on the mountain. No, he humbled himself. And because he belittled himself, he made himself small. God says the Torah will be called by your name. Zikru Torat Moshe. I just thought that was so amazing. So thinking about that, and like I said, it said Zikru. Well, Zakor or Zikaron, we always remember those things. It means remembrance. Okay, So I wrote out the word zakor there for you. It means remember, commemorate, know in your heart, know by heart, to mention, be thought of, recall, call to mind. I got so excited about that meaning because it made me think of college. It made me think of all the studying that you have to do to get your degree, and the time and the effort that we put in, to get that degree, to be able to get a job, okay, that we really want. And that same effort, that same passion needs to be a part of who we are pertaining to the Torah, and how we study the Torah, and how we intently look at the Torah. Okay. But it's important that when we're studying, that we remember those things and that we recall those things, that we're constantly thinking about those things. Those things would be known in our heart. Okay. One of the ways that we remember is by speaking those things to others. Okay. When we go through something, we talk about it. And when we talk about it, it's as if we're there. We're recalling those memories. Oh, I remember when my baby was born and it was this and it was that and I felt this and I was so happy and I saw their face. Those memories. As we're speaking about them, it's like we're there. We're alive at that moment, thinking about those memories. That's how we need to be about our scriptures. And that's how we need to be about those things that God has taken us through. We recall those things. They should be commemorated. They should be known in our heart. It's like, oh yeah, I remember when I went through this and God helped me and I felt like God was carrying me and I felt like God was speaking to me as I was walking through this through this particular thing. Oh, it was so painful. It was so horrible, but I know God was with me. And that's exactly how it needs to be with the word. And you're studying the word and you're going, I'm just going to bring up one of the teachings that I gave. Bereshit bara Elohim. Oh my gosh, I could see it so clearly that the bait was the house, and we're walking on this path, which is the Torah. The path is laid out for us. The word of God is laid out for us. And we walk that path, and that path, as we're walking on that path, we're growing, we're becoming more of what God has destined us to be. So it's very important to remember. In Judaism, it's very important to remember. We don't forget who we were or where we came from, because the things from the past formed us and caused us to seek God and to seek, to know him in a better way, or to get to know him, period, so that we would change and walk away from the things that we were previously. So don't forget. Don't forget who you are. Don't forget where you've come from. Memorize, recall those things. Those things will teach other people how they can walk away from sin, walk away from a lifestyle that wasn't what God intended for them. Recall with your mouth. It's not just in your head. Recall with your mouth. Share those things with others so that they can leave that Egypt behind and come into a new life with Messiah, with the word of God. So, Shamor V'Sakor. So I put this piece there because I think my husband's piece clearly explains this scripture. Observe and remember the Sabbath. Shavuot 20b, pertaining to Exodus 20, verse 8. Remember, Zakor, remember. Remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. But then in Deuteronomy, it's quoted differently. It says, in Deuteronomy 5:12, it says, observe, shamor, or guard. So there's two things going on with every festival, but right here with Shabbat, okay? Remember the Shabbat to keep it holy. Remember, recall it, commemorate it, think about it. As your week is going, look forward to that Shabbat. Oh, I can't wait to celebrate Shabbat. I can't wait to be able to sing, songs. I can't wait to be able to dance or hear a teaching on Shabbat. I can't wait to do those prayers that we do on Shabbat. Recall those things, remember those things, commemorate those things. And then, like in Deuteronomy, observe as you're doing those things, look, guard them, watch over them, go, I see you. I see what you're saying. Take it in so that it's teaching you, so that it's speaking to you. So, Pirkei Avot, the sayings of the Father, chapter 5, says 7 traits characterize an uncultivated person, and 7 a learned person. A learned person, 1, does not begin speaking before one who is greater than he is in wisdom or in years. 2, does not interrupt the words of his fellow. 3, does not answer impetuously. 4, questions with relevance to the subject and replies accurately. 5, discusses first things first and last things last. 6, about something he has not heard, he says, I have not heard. In other words, don't just give an answer. If you haven't heard about it, don't say, I haven't heard about it. And then the 7th, acknowledges the truth. The reverse of these characterize an uncultivated person. And the reason I wrote that, I thought it was so cool, because the Zayin is looked at as a crowned man. And I showed you that picture of the 7 with the crown, but the Zayin is looked at as a crowned man. With the Bob, the crown is talked about as a yod, okay? So that is a picture of a man with a crown. And a cultivated person, I hope you can look at these things and go, wow, that is so cool, because that's how I look at it. Doesn't begin speaking before one who is greater than he is in wisdom or in years. It's crazy, but I was thinking about what the world is like now. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody has something to say about everything. And people have forgotten the wisdom that we can get from older people. There's so much wisdom that can be gained from an older person, but there's so much wisdom that can be gained from a person that has studied and knows what they're talking about. I see so many people that think that if they get on the internet, I mean, this is going to go on the internet, but this is the truth. They get on the internet They look something up. That's it. I know everything about it. Well, you don't. You may have it here, but you're not walking in it with your heart. There's wisdom that has to be walked out. A person that has been broken can give you so much wisdom from all the stuff that they've been through. So a smart person is going to stay quiet when they recognize the wisdom in somebody that is there, that is older than them, that has studied longer. And like I said, I'm bringing that up because I'm just going, it's so lost. This is so lost in today's world. There's so many, I'll say kids, there's so many kids that just feel like they know everything. You can't say anything because they know. But that can be us too. If we're walking into a room and we don't realize that there's wisdom in others that we can receive. So the best thing to do is just listen and not talk. Sometimes it's just wiser to listen and gain the wisdom from others that God has put in your path. And I love number 3, where it says, do not answer impetuously. You know, think about what's being asked of you. Think about what the subject is. Think, give yourself time. And if you don't know, you don't know. Say you don't know. And then you'll be able to give more to others when you're hearing what others have to say. And that means also, even during services, just hear and receive what God is speaking through others. And when you have a question, number 4, ask questions of relevance to the subject, not your own things, the subject matter, because it opens up this gateway. It opens up these doors when we are talking about the relevance of what's being spoken. So I just got so excited with this from Pierre Cavot, because it really does describe the Zayin, a crowned man, because a crowned man is a man of wisdom, or should be a man of wisdom. And like I said, it's the same gematria, the same numerical value as Binah, knowledge. So that's all I have to say for this week. And I hope that was something you learned. I hope this was something that you learned, and I hope it fed you. And I know it fed me, so I hope it fed you. And shalom. You all have any questions? Let me know.
I have a statement.
Okay, have a statement. Go ahead, Michael.
What you brought up, that's that quote in Shabbat 89a4. God talking to Moshe, because you humbled yourself, the Torah will be called by your name. Right. I never saw that. That is amazing, because it doesn't even say Torah several times in the New Testament. It just says Moshe. Like Acts 15, they'll hear Moses preached in the synagogue every Shabbat. The Gentiles will every Shabbat. It doesn't even say Torah. It says Moshe. So that is fantastic. Fantastic.
And I just love the way, and I had never seen it in Hebrew. I mean, I'd read it, but Zikru Torat Moshe. I was like, oh my God. And Avdi, where it's the root of that is Av, Father. And I was just like, oh, that is so cool. That is just that is exciting. I like your comment. Thank you. Okay. Well, shalom, shalom. And we will see you all next week. I hope you have a good, blessed week.
Thank you, Eileen.
Thank you.